Hi, everyone. Hi. So, I am just enjoying this gorgeous fall day here today. Yes, happy fall. It's gorgeous out in Colorado anyway. So, I just was thinking today about I'm watching so many people in my community come out or be vulnerable or share of themselves. Hi, Sherry. I'm watching them share, be vulnerable, do a beautiful job of that. And then one of them said they have like a vulnerability hangover, which I thought was so great, a vulnerability hangover. And it just made me think about, and I've kind of had this experience myself a little bit too. It made me think about like, what is our leading edge? So good to see you, Sherry. Like, what is our leading edge? Like, and what that really means is, what are the things that we sometimes find ourselves doing, or that we sometimes find ourselves in situations, or we're kind of asked to step up into something, and we do it, and or we partially do it, or we get too afraid. Like, it makes us just shrivel up and cower like anything. And we all have those things in our lives, right? We all have these things that we're just like, oh my God, I can't do that. I could never do that. Or we watch somebody on Facebook or TV or out in public or whatever, and we're like, oh, I could never do that. I actually think of my daughter that way sometimes. When I see her, she's crazy brilliant, and I see her and I'm like, oh my God, I could never do what she does. Like, I was never in theater, and she's just out there so strong and powerful. My son does that too, and it blows my mind. And so we have that sometimes with our kids, where we can see these things of like, I could never do that. Fear of failure, exactly. And so, and I don't know if it's always fear of failure. You know, maybe it's just a history of shame. I mean, I think there's layers of it probably, of what that exactly is. But what I'm finding a lot of joy in right now is actually finding my leading edge with things. Finding these things that I'm like, ooh, that scares the crap out of me. That feels so hard. But it's our, typically, oftentimes, one way to think of it anyway, I think there's many ways to think of it, is that what are our limiting beliefs around that thing, or that might happen, or what's the fear of failure, or what might be going on for us. And actually, as a practice, as a ritual, and as a practice, allowing ourselves to come up against those things that are our leading edge, and actually find joy in them, and look at them not as, because what can happen is that our body and our mind, because they're so scary to us, can put us in fight, flight, or freeze. And our brains can find a reason, because our brains are designed to keep us safe. And so if we go into fight, flight, or freeze, our brains can find a reason to pivot away from that thing. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh my gosh, that's too scary. That's too much for me. Oh, there's something else over here. Like, we find shiny things to get distracted by, right? And so we can actually make a practice of recognizing what's happening and saying, oh, you know what? This is just something I need to step into and go with. It doesn't mean you have to do a slam dunk with it on day one. Maybe we have to work our way up to it. And maybe we can do a slam dunk on day one. Who knows? But that we can bring ourselves to that leading edge over and over and over again, and just say, oh, my life's not in danger. I don't need to go into fight, flight, or freeze. I can move through this. I can step into this, and it's not going to kill me. Like, I'm kind of talking in extreme terms here. That's actually what I say to myself, because I know when I'm in fight, flight, or freeze that my body is actually saying, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. You can't do this. And so I actually say to myself, this isn't going to kill me. This is it just isn't. And I just, shift my thinking, and I address very directly what's happening. So yeah, I just think this is an amazing practice of going to your leading edge. And I would love to know, like, what is yours? what might yours be? Like for me, something might be like, like if I'm not at the top of the heap, that I'm a failure. Like I'm not, like my mind is not trained to be in the middle of the road. My mind is either trained to be at the top of something or at the bottom, and I give up. And so if I'm not at the top, then, oh, it froze up. I don't know why. Is it better now, Sherry? And there just might be a delay. So if I'm not on the top, and so what might happen is I might say to myself, I either say work harder or quit. Work harder or quit. And so here's what I do with my leading edge. So I'm trying something different, right? Like I don't actually need to be at the top of everything. I have a full life. I want to have happiness in my life. I want to have balance in my life. I want to be a mother, number one. I want to bring in an amazing income, number two. Like there's so many things I want to do. I don't need to be the best at 10 things. I just want to be really good at the things I love and enjoy and bring joy and peace and amazing things into my life. So rather than, thinking I have to go to the top of something and work harder to do that just because that's what I'm supposed to do, I'm saying to myself, I think I'm going to take a break. Like something as silly as that. Like I do something opposite of what my pattern would be. Like, oh no, I'm not going to work hard at this. I know. But I keep my vibration up. So like, I know I'm damn good at this, or I know this can come into my life. Like I think of a thought that is aligned with what I want, and then I go with that thought without it being that I have to work harder. I hope that makes sense. And so we all have a whole list of these things that is our leading edge that stops us from jumping, moving into something greater for ourselves. And so I just challenge you, and I would love to know what yours are, and I would challenge you to think of something different in those moments. So hi, Julissa. So yes, this is an exciting practice, and I'm just finishing up here, Julissa, actually, and thanks for coming, but you can watch the replay. And so I would love to know, like, let me know, what are the things that are your leading edge? What are the things that cause you to like cower in fear and to pull back from actually fully engaging in life? And it's the more we acknowledge these things, the more we put them out there, the more we name them, the more we talk about them, the more we sense them, the less power they have over us too. So let me know what yours are. I would love to hear more. So thank you so much for being here today, and I hope you have an amazing, beautiful day. Thanks.